Hello again. This is just a really short video. I've pasted in, or if I can fit it in the description, otherwise I'll put it as a separate post, an email I sent to Northumbria Police regarding the complaint I lodged. Essentially, as I highlighted on the previous video, they're trying to deflect the complaint away from the pretext they use to enter our property and take or seize, in my mind, steal our devices. And what it essentially amounts to is they are an instrument of the coordinated coercion that I've been talking about for quite some time. Clearly, it's unsettled people because of the research we've done into the FCA and the conflict of interest between them as a regulator and prosecutor, and how that's leading to bad outcomes for the victims of financial scandal. They know, the FCA knew that we were looking at these things as far back as 2023, and the potential overlap between that and the Wealth Tech case, and also the corruption in the family court system, how children are being monetized and traded with private equity owned institutions, and how all this is leading into the financial sector. So what a few things I try to draw out are essentially the trend that we've seen. Yes, I suffered some physical abuse from Northumbria Police. We've clearly suffered quite a lot of psychological abuse as well, them coming into our home, taking our devices, wanting to violate our privacy and humiliate us. But this is really just a trend that we've seen over recent years, where the police have pivoted away from attending to sort of violent crime and shoplifting and drug dealing and so on, and are spending more time on policing thought and speech, because it's relatively low risk, because those who conduct research or raise issues that are inconvenient, they're generally not violent, and they can you can enter into their properties and terrorize them and so on. It's a relatively low risk activity for the police. And I've really sort of unpacked what I call Pink Panther policing that they engaged in as an instrument of coordinated coercion. There's, you can see it if you look at the videos I posted on the channel, where I've produced a lot of case related things regarding our daughter and how she's been subject to cultural genocide and the erasure of her heritage. Straight away after this raid, I said what they'll do is they'll quickly walk back from the phony vandalism allegations, and they've got your devices then anyway, so they can then try to concoct something to justify whatever they think they're trying to do. And you can see that none other than the bail conditions, which I actually said to them way in advance of when I was scheduled to return to the police station that I wouldn't do so. I refused to comply with the bail conditions because we'd already ascertained that there was a pretext being used, the nonsense about a time machine and so on and so forth, which you'll see in the email. And then lo and behold, they said the bail conditions are cancelled. So it's all there. I've copied in parties to the Wealth Tech case because there is clear overlap between them. I highlighted the fact how I complained to Richard Middleditch, the FCA, back last summer about the coordinated coercion and the threats we'd received from the side of things. And, if we continue these investigations, we would be barred from seeing our daughter. That's already happened. So they've done that now. And he said, well, you could, report it to the police. But as I put in the email to him, Northumbria Police are very conflicted in this, and they won't do anything. And they've actually proven that themselves. We already have enough evidence. They should have already come to us and said, look, what evidence do you have of corruption? What evidence do you have of coercion? What evidence do you have of your daughter being subject to cultural genocide and her heritage being eroded so she can be traded like a financial asset? What evidence do you have of corruption in the family court, unsigned, falsified evidence, but they haven't because they can't, because they're part of the same coercion. So really, the email outlines all this, and what essentially will happen is Ingalls, this lady Ingalls who's been charged with this investigation, will skirt around all this coordinated coercion. She'll try to deny it or say, more likely, what we believe she's been told to say is an ongoing investigation, so I can't comment on it. She'll deny the physical abuse. I'll post up. I've got a photo of the bruises I suffered, but they'll deny it. Anyway, police state terror is part of our lives these days, but she's been instructed to skirt around that, where they buy some time to try and justify the police state terror and the participation of them as an instrument of coordinated coercion and so on and so forth. But that's it for now. Take care, and do take a look at the email.